Good morning. Welcome to Real Mom Conversations. This space is where we tell the truth about motherhood, womanhood, and the moments that push us to our limit. I'm Erin, and this podcast is for every mom who's ever had to hold it together in public, fight for basic respect, or walk into a room already exhausted from everything she survived, all before 9 a.m. Here, we're going to talk about the real stuff, the emotional overload, the identity shifts, the days where we feel invisible sometimes. And then it's the moments when life just hits you so hard, you don't even recognize yourself or have time to deal with people and themselves. This is where we're going to unpack it, breathe through it, and remind each other that we're not crazy, we're not weak for crying, and we're definitely not alone. Because being a mom doesn't mean being a superhuman. It means being human and still showing up anyway. So let's get into today's conversation. Recently, I went to go drop one of my three kids off. She's 7. I went to go drop her off at summer school this year. When I walked in there, I was a little late. I thought that, it started at 8, but if I showed up, all before 10, it was okay. But recently I had a woman tell me when I went to go drop her off, like, oh, the drop off is at 9 o'clock. And if you're late, we're not going to take her. I looked at her and didn't even say anything because I'm like, do you even know what I'm going through walking in here with a finger splint on my middle hand from a DV incident at 9:08 a.m.? And then I had to remind her, I said, oh, it's 9:08 a.m. Thank you. And so then the next morning, I came at 9:05. I mean, listen, I'm trying to have my best intentions for it. But let me tell you, trying to get my little baby up, it's 8 o'clock. Man, my baby is tired. It is summer. I'm trying to get her dressed. You don't know what can happen. She might have to go to the bathroom the last minute. I had to get her a lunch together because she didn't want to eat the school lunch. Then she needed to bring a stuffed animal because they don't even got no toys up there. And they asked her to bring one. So then I'm trying to stuff this giant bear last minute. Then I had to get her lunch in the backpack, get her a little jacket. Give me a break. Okay, all working with one hand. And the next morning I came at 9:05 and I seen another woman from her main school site after school program who always sees me sometimes when I'm late in the morning. I know, so bad, but she knows me. So it was good to see, a familiar face. And I told her, I said, I have a finger splint. Like, what do you want me to do? It's hard for me to even get her dressed with, one finger. My baby is actually getting herself dressed. I'm so proud of her, including putting on her own shoes. And, so she was like, I know, they're just trying to really be on time for 9 a.m. I said, leave me alone. And she smiled and walked. Like, sometimes you got to tell people, like, listen, leave me alone, okay? Do not have time to be playing with people out here, mama, and neither do you. So that sometimes is hard for me and, my kids. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Reaching sometimes the point of no return and your breaking point, right? You're like, listen, leave me alone. I'm not going through this. And sometimes we might even spaz out, have breakdowns or cry in public. And that's okay. Because when you have been maxed out because of people, your kids not listening to you, partners, life, work, and everything else we face as moms, including bills that we have to pay, managing them, buying food. It's so hard, and then resistance to the basic necessities of privacy and fair treatment. Man, do not play with us because we are moms and we are powerful. So just talking about that. And then, when you mistreat us at our breaking point, you get a couple of things: resistance, conflict, or breakdown. Who wants that? And for me, sometimes it's even been in tears and other times it has been yelling. But as a mom of 3, anything can hit me on any day. So be easy. And that's what I want to tell people out here. Be easy. You are not alone when you're having a public breakdown. And I'm here to tell you it's not you, it's them. Okay? So let's look at some other moms who've gone through some of the things that we have so that we can relate to each other, be transparent, and see that we're not the only ones. Earlier this year, around March or February, we had a couple of people who helped. And it was so nice to see empathy and kindness. In December, it's travel season, trying to travel with your kids in the airport. There was a mom named Shalane Kilduff. She was traveling with her young son who was overstimulated and getting ready to have a breakdown. It was a waitress who stepped in. Her name was Brittany Bell. She came in, picked him up, walked him around, soothed him, all while working her shift. Now that's the power of a woman, right? Reaching out to another woman. And that's what we need more of, and we need to be doing to other women and moms we see in need. Sometimes when we reach our breaking point, it's like a teapot boiling, and it's not us. Sometimes people are not kind. Sometimes it just takes that moment to just sit with yourself, think about it, take it in, and calm down. There was another mom who had help from three women who stepped in to help her. Her name was Becca Kinsey. She had a 2 and a 5-year-old at Disney World. Oh, can only imagine. I tried to go to Universal Studios and it was a lot. So this mom here, she was overwhelmed and crying basically in the airport security line. She was traveling alone with her 2 kids, 2 and 5, and on the verge of tears. One child screaming, having a tantrum fit, and the other just tired, maxed out. And we all know what that's like, let alone, I know she had that double stroller or 2 strollers or 1 stroller carrying a child. I have done it all, and we do it all. 3 different women stepped in. One let her cut the line, another carried all of her bags, and a third held her child nearly the entire flight. Who and what made her cry that day is what went through my mind, because we've all been there when we're alone traveling with kids and it just becomes overwhelming. Not because we can't handle it, but that it's too much noise, too many people, the kids crying, the kids being slow, being hungry, having to go to the bathroom. That is a lot. And I just want to tell you, it's normal to feel that way. It's a lot. So, what does this mean for us? You're not alone in the way that you feel being treated or the experiences that you have. Traveling a lot with kids, it's too much sometimes. We want to take a road trip, we want to go catch a flight, go places, and that can be a lot. It may sound weird, but it's good sometimes to just take a moment, pause, go slow, and sit down. Sometimes it can feel like it's too much when you're traveling with your kids. I mean, one time I was traveling to Vegas. I had my 3 kids at the time. She was 16. I think Tatum must have been 5. And I had my son. He was probably 12 or 11. I was walking through the airport in Oakland. Oh my gosh. And everybody had their luggage. So I'm walking down the path trying to find the gate and the flight. It took me forever. I walked around that whole airport. Oh my gosh. I circled twice with 3 kids. Now, I'm not sure it's because I had 3 people walking behind me trying to keep up with their luggage, all the people in the airport, the noise, looking at the different planes, listening to my kids, asking about the people, the plane, the luggage, notice everything. I'm not quite sure why I circled that airport twice and could not find my flight, but I did. And as I was walking, I saw this Caucasian man, had to be about 24, with this cute little young girlfriend who was about 23. He was sitting there with his black hat on and his little black feast from Patagonia. And he was like whispering to her, "That's a lot of luggage." But he was whispering so loud, me and my kids can hear it. And I turned and stared at him in his eyes. And his girlfriend said, "Well, she has 3 kids. That's normal." And, thank God that she said something that makes sense, that day. So we just got to be giving. We got to be gracious with people. We have to be aware. And it's a lot traveling with kids. Sometimes you're tired, they're tired, and they don't listen. So there's people everywhere that have good intentions. And, just a moment of kindness and empathy can change everything. Being non judgmental, because no one knows what we're going through in a day. No one knows. And being kind matters. And for us, we have to be kind to ourselves. Sometimes it's okay to admit, hey, this is too much. I'm getting more. I'm going to sit down. Come on, kids, let's sit down. But for us, we also have to think about sometimes letting others in to help and allow them to help us when we're in need, even if they are strangers, because people do have good intentions and they're willing to support us and they're just around the corner. So the reality is that solo publishing parenting is hard because people expect you not to be human. They expect you to be the mom or your kids causing a scene. But in reality, anybody facing those same circumstances and conditions would react the same way and have an emotional overload when facing things alone. Because sometimes that's the load that we carry. And listen, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. You're not alone. Moms everywhere are hitting that same wall. We deserve support. You have to be kind, have softness, and you deserve to be seen. This is Real Mom Conversations. Until next time.